Hey guys, welcome to another video with Old Florida Fly Shop. My name is Mike. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to tie your own brush. The first thing you're going to need to make your own brush is a device. This device aids in making the brush, and they come in multiple sizes and shapes. I have two here displayed. One is going to be the Stanfo dubbing brush device, and the other one is a custom homemade wood. The Stanfo dubbing brush device is really nice just because of ease of use. It'll attach to any pre-existing vise you have. The two threads that I utilize the most are small and brassy size ultra wire. Brassy is going to be for when you're tying thicker, more dense brushes. Small is just about for everything else. I do like to put them on bobbins just because it's a little bit easier to work with. For the first step of this, I'm going to take my wire, make a little V over the hook on the attached hook on my vise, and I'm going to give it a couple spins right here, locking it in place. Then you can go ahead and trim off the tag end. I will go ahead and take my thread and I'll pull out some more and wrap it right around the eye of the spring-loaded hook and give that a couple turns. It's very important that you actually spring-load the wire so it's under a little bit of tension. As you can see, I have a very little bit of tension on the wire. Then you could come down and pull out a little bit of excess on your bobbin and go ahead and set that aside out of the way. The next thing is to take some dubbing wax and put a healthy amount of dubbing wax on the wire. This dubbing wax keeps all the material in place and allows the material to not shift too much. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and raise the table all the way up. There's a small groove in the actual table. We need to make sure that wire is in that small groove. And now the fun part. All the material that you can put inside your brushes. In today's video, we're going to be tying a 1-inch EP minnow head brush with a little bit of flash and beige EP fiber. First thing I'm going to do is take a clump of EP fiber and just pull it off. Make sure it's nice and even and straight. One really nice feature about this Stanfo dubbing brush device is this measurement and material catch. It has markings on it, so I'm going to go to the 1-inch mark. Take my scissors and make my first cut. All I'm going to do is push that material back into the 1-inch mark and make another, and you can stack 3 1-inch fiber patches here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and take these materials that I cut and I'm going to go ahead and start laying them on the table. So this is above my wire that's in the track, and as I spread these out, I'm going to want to do it as evenly as possible. The nicer that you have these materials spread out on the table, the nicer the end product is going to be. I'm just going to go ahead and speed this clip up a little bit until I fill the table up with my material. Just trying to make sure everything's even. Like I said, the better you have the material on this table when it's locked in, the better the end result will be. So definitely take your time and make sure you have it nice. Now I'm going to come in here and prep my flash. Prepping the flash is pretty simple, but it is a little tedious. I'm going to go grab a healthy clump off of the whole patch, and I'm just going to fold it over a couple times, basically working the material to the end goal of being one single stack of straight 1-inch fibers. So I'm just going to fold it over, cut the loops, keep doing that till I have around a 1-inch stack. And I'm going to go ahead and clean up the ends. The cleaner you have this material for the flash, the cleaner it'll lay out and the nicer your brush will be. So now once I have that to the table, I'm just going to go take my 1-inch stack, pinch it in between my thumb and my pointer, and I'm just going to start feathering out, pulling it across all of my EP. It can be a little bit tricky, especially if you have a fan or an AC above you. It will blow away, so just small little sparse clumps, less is mostly more. You can actually go back over it if you do one really sparse row and then lay the material back over. So once you have all that flash on the top of the material, as you can see, I have a little bit hanging over that 1-inch mark on my device. I like to actually come in here with scissors once in a while. If I'm making a really nice brush, I'll actually take the scissors and just run it along, making small cuts just to trim up that excess material. It's totally okay if you want to keep it. It'll actually pull out. The best part about dubbing brushes or tying your own brushes, there's no rhyme or reason to it. You can come up with whatever brush you want. After you get your desired look for the brush, I'm going to go ahead and lift my wire back up, and I'm going to add another coating of wax to the top wire. You could be very liberal in the application of this wax. It can be pretty thick, you just don't want any clumps. I'm actually going to go take my fingers and do a nice coating of wax, running it up and down that wire to make sure I have full coverage. This is just going to really aid in keeping that material in place and not slipping when I drop my tying device table. So now I'm actually going to come here and I'm going to lock this material down. I like to place my finger just so I don't touch the base of that material. I'm going to keep going all the way down, and I'm actually going to hook it back on that loop. I'm going to put my pointer finger right on the end just so I know that wire isn't going to move in the back. Make a simple little V. I'm going to go ahead and give my vise a couple spins once I have that locked off. What that does is basically just locks everything in place, and it's going to keep all that material together. Before you drop down the table, I would give it just a few more spins so it holds everything nice and tightly in place. So now here I'm going to drop down the table, just unscrew the little screw, drop down the table a little bit. You don't have to go all the way down, but you can if you want to. So everything is going to be held in place with the wax and the couple turns that you have. As you can see, I have a nice little brush right here. Everything looks pretty even. Once you've had about 10-15 turns, you can come in here and comb out the material. This is just a little piece of Velcro that I like to use and brush out all the material thoroughly. We'll do this step a couple times throughout the process. After another 15 wraps, you could stop and comb it out again. This little spring-loaded clip actually prevents you from breaking your wire on your device. As you spin more and the more tension you get, you'll see it slowly starting to pull in, and that's what you want. As we finish up this brush, I'll go ahead and take my Velcro one more time, and I'll make the final touches, trying to comb out any of the spots that I see need to be combed out. Don't be too docile with this. Definitely try to get every trapped fiber you can out. The last step is going to be trimming the wire off of our dubbing brush device. I'm going to go ahead and clip both ends, and there you have it. That is going to be the done brush. This is a 1-inch EP brush with a little bit of sparkle, basically to imitate a minnow head brush. We hope these videos helped you guys. We hope you learned something today. If you have any other questions about fly fishing, feel free to contact the shop via our live chat function. And as always, we hope to see you on the water.